Make way for the bad guy.
What is up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Crowd Pleaser, the podcast that gives you the inside scoop on what it takes to be a male entertainer in today's age. I'm your host, Caesar the Crowd Pleaser, and I got a special guest with me on the show today that I'll be introducing in a moment. But first things first, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. The show is brought to you by you via the Patreon. Thank you to all my very many patrons that support the show, because you were able to start doing video coverages as well as putting in all behind the scenes perks like photo shoots and whatnot. So definitely appreciate you guys checking it out. Check it out at patreon.com/crowdpleaser. All right. And see what's going on. You can sign up for as little as $1 a show. Next, LaBare Dallas. All right. This is where I work 5 nights a week, Wednesday to Sunday. We're your number one ladies' destination for anything you want. Good times, bachelorette parties, divorce parties, you name it, we got it. We even do strippergrams where we bring the LaBare show to your home, hotel, doesn't matter what venue. My guest is here from LaBare Houston, so definitely check him out as well. They have over 15 entertainers of all shapes and sizes ready to put on the same great show you see in Dallas, only closer to you in Houston. All right, so without further ado, he's a good friend of mine. I've known him for almost as long as I've been dancing. We hit it off right away as soon as he came into Dallas for one of our many strip-offs. He's been entertaining for over 20 years. During those 20 years, 8 of those years he spent inside the wrestling ring of professional wrestling, competing with some of the great names you know and love to watch and listen to. Over the course of this time, he's won multiple championships across tag team, heavyweight, and Ironman categories, as well as 15 strip-off titles. This man requires no introduction, as a matter of fact. You know him. He's dear to all our hearts. I want to welcome him on the show, Foreplay. How you doing, Foreplay?
Hey, what's going on, man? I really appreciate you having me on your show.
Oh, the pleasure's all, man. It's truly an honor. Like I said, you know I've looked up to you from the first time we interacted. So it's definitely glad that you took some time out of your day to be on the show. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it, brother. What got you into dancing?
Okay, that's a crazy story. I'll make it real short, though. I used to be in rap. I used to be a rapper. I started sneaking in the club when I was 13, following my brothers, and we wanted to get our music played. Okay, so we would sneak in the club. We would talk to DJs. One day we went on a Wednesday night to a club because we was like, okay, it's slow. We're going to talk to to the club. And it was a male dance night, male strip night. So we walked in and we seen all these guys. Naturally, we were young, we were stupid. We went with stereotype. Oh man, look at all these gay guys, blah, 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 whatever, just being stupid. And the DJ was like, no, man, these guys are cool, But it was about 300 women.
Oh, wow.
Okay, it was packed. It was going crazy. So the DJ was like, wait until the dance was over, then I'll talk to you guys. So we waited until they were over. The guys left. Maybe about 150 women stayed. So after we talked to the DJ, we were like, man, they got all these hot women here and drunk and horny. We were like, let's stay.
Yeah.
So we stayed. We started coming on Wednesday nights because the ratio was like 100 to 1, looked like almost. So we were dancing, blah, 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 trying to get our music played and everything. And one day, the guy over the dancers came to me. He was like, man, I hear a lot about you. You can dance. The women be liking you. They throwing money at you and everything. You ever thought about being a dancer? So by this time, I'm about 14. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm like, yeah, no. So it took about 2 years of me going to different spots, blah, 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 for them to actually get me into dancing. So I actually started dancing when I was 16, and it was because I wanted them to play my music. The guys were like, hey, man, if you start dancing, you get in all the major clubs for free. They'll be able to, you can dance off your own music. You'll get cool with DJs. So I was like, well, okay, I won't have to use a fake ID to get in the club no more.
Yeah.
I'll get to support the women, and I'll get my music played. So that's how I kind of started off dancing.
Okay, right on. Shoot, man, that's a pretty good story. You're not the first person I've heard that's kind of been to a best chess competition randomly and been like, man, this doesn't look like too bad of a gig. That's pretty neat, man. So you finally got your gig. You started to dance, so you had your music playing over the system while you're on stage and whatnot. Like, how were your first few months of being a dancer? Were like you kind of already prepared for it, or was it just a huge mind blowing experience?
Man, it was mind blowing, and it became extremely addictive. I mean, when I first started dancing, I wasn't dancing for the money, so I really wasn't paying attention. To tell you the truth, if I made $25, I was extremely happy. It's like, wow, man, I made $25 because they would put me on first, and it would only be for like a couple, like a couple minutes. I was more like an opening act, and I was probably like 150 pounds soaking wet. And I'm 6 feet. In boots, I'm about 6'2", so 155, 160 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah, you're pretty lean.
I was pretty fun, yeah, to say the least. And it wasn't like when I first started, all the attention and everything, it was mind blowing. Became extremely addictive.
Yeah, which actually that was going to be my next question. What kept you doing the job? But I guess you just kind of caught that showmanship bug, and you realized that was a place for you, huh?
Well, no, not really. I love the showmanship. I love to entertain. But honestly, I started doing it because I got out of music, and that's a whole nother story. So I stopped dancing for a while, got in a relationship, all that. I stopped dancing for a while. And eventually I came back to dancing, but I was only dancing one night a week.
Okay.
Just one night a week because it helped me like escape. I was working construction. I was doing it 6 days a week, 12 hours a day. And it was just something for me to cut loose and breathe and relax because I always loved to dance, loved to entertain, loved the attention. So I kind of did that, but what really got me into it was the money, when I actually focused on the money. And I was like, one day I put my mind to it. I was like, hey, if I really focus, I probably can make a lot of money at this. And I was told, if it's something you love to do, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yep. True story. Very true story.
And I love to dance, love women, love making money. I mean, it was kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, and then that was it. You were hooked. So, what was your first act?
My first real serious act was the fire act.
Fire.
I would play with fire.
Okay.
Play with fire. I would rub it all over me. I would spit it. I would do all of that, and that was my first real serious act.
Right on, man. So what throughout, you've been dancing for 20 years, and I've seen you do some of the best shows I've seen. I know I always enjoy your show when I go down to Houston. What sparks so much creativity in you to bring to the stage?
Just loving to entertain. I've always been creative. I've always loved dancing. Always, any real dancer is going to love people like Michael Jackson, Chris Brown, people like that. So just watching other entertainers, singers, I draw creativity from everywhere. I mean, TV, music, people, just talking to people and just letting myself go in the moment. And just letting myself go in the moment, I'll create something. I'll think of something. I'll look at a situation and just try to break it down.
Yeah.
I'll take something from a movie or from a TV show or from a song or just anything.
So one of the arguments I pose to people when they ask certain things, when male stripping first started, it was easy. The fantasies were cut and dry. People would do a cop act, doctor, fireman. Like, things were pretty cut and dry. Women like, David Hasselhoff and hair bands and stuff like that. So I feel like the seduction and the fantasies were very straightforward and easy. But as the years go on, there's only so many fantasies that have been added to the mix. Vampires, the more S&M thing, stuff like that. Have you seen an evolution in how you design acts and your club design acts to kind of still maintain that fantasy vibe? or is it just like, you know what, there's so much out there in the world, anything that puts on a good show, it works, whether it has that sexual fantasy touch or not?
Okay, that's a good thing. One thing I've always said is that we sell sex. We sell the sexual fantasy. So a lot of people will take anything and kind of make a show. And from an entertainment standpoint, can be extremely good. Like one of the guys who I think who would do a great show, but it was a show, and that was Cherokee from San Antonio.
Yes.
Cherokee did this Pirates of the Caribbean act that was freaking crazy. The only problem with it, I mean, from an entertainment standpoint, from like a Broadway type show, you freaking loved it. It was great. I mean, it kept your attention, but it lacked sex appeal. That was the only thing. And a lot of dancers right now, they'll look at something and they'll create something, but they don't bring across the sex appeal. Now, I'm not saying Cherokee did that all the time. I'm just talking about that one. I was just
I understand. I understand.
Example. Because the guy's one of the great guys. So I looked up to him forever. But I always try to put in an air of sex appeal. You have to. No matter what you do, you have to bring that across, because women want that sexual fantasy when they come see us. That's what they want. They want great entertainment, but it still needs that little sex.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you catch it. You'll see when, if you don't keep that sensuality within the act, it's exactly what you said. You'll have their attention, they'll enjoy it, but you may not see the crowd response that you're looking for because they came to the club looking for sex or some type of fantasy. So it's great. So it's really neat to see it, because you've dancing for 20 years, have seen that evolution of like, hey, look, people still love cop, people still like firemen, but we also got to bring them something new. What do we have to work with? And so, you know, and every once in a while you get lucky with a good movie, like Top Gun was a big deal, Interview with a Vampire, you know, certain things that kind of put it on a plate for you, 50 Shades of Grey. But eventually you're kind of like, well, there's only so many different ways we could do a certain type of theme, especially when you want to, you know, change it up and whatnot. And that's what designs like the shower acts and the more out of the box thinking from guys. What's your worst thing about, what's the thing you like the least about dancing?
Oh my gosh, I hate the new dancers right now. Well, not the new dancers, a lot of them. A lot of guys that are in the business right now have no business being in the business. I mean, they have no business. They're not dancers. They come out, back when I first got into dancing, it was hard. Not anybody could be a dancer. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't have been able to be a dancer if I wasn't such a good dancer. One thing I tell a lot of people, you don't have to be a great dancer in order to be a male entertainer. It's not all about dancing. It's about selling a sexual fantasy. Mm-hmm. There were some guys that couldn't dance to save their life.
But they had that confidence.
Oh, my gosh. Every time they got on stage, they tore the house down because they knew how to entertain. They knew how to get into the mind and into the sensuality and into the fantasy. Well, actually, they know how to take the woman and bring her into their reality.
Well said. I like that.
That we have to do as entertainers. We have to take them from where they are and bring them to us. Bring them to a higher level, to another world, because they don't want to stay in the same world. I'm not coming to stay in the same world. I'm coming to see something different, to experience something different. And those guys who can do that, they don't have to dance. They don't have to. But what made me be able to is that I could dance and I could create costumes.
Yep.
So wherever I had a weakness at, I used my strength somewhere else to hide my weakness.
Smart man.
And that would help me.
Yeah, true strategist.
I looked at it from a business standpoint. I've always loved business. I looked at it and said, okay, let's take foreplay as a product.
Yep.
And what can make him better? What can make him, how can I promote him? How can I make him a hot commodity? and I asked a million questions. I did surveys. I did this. I did that.
Yep, that's it.
How I created.
Yeah, it's so great. That's why I enjoy speaking to people like you and Randy and Cherokee and stuff and Titan that have been in the business such a long time, and you treat it just like that, a business. And you're 100% right. A lot of the guys that come in, they have a semi-good or good body, and they feel like, hey, I'm popular when I go to the club, so when I work at this club, it's going to be a piece of cake. When they realize there's so much more to it than just that, they get sore very quickly, and they end up not lasting. We have a very high attrition rate, and then obviously the popularity of Magic Mike has just had guys coming out of the woodworks trying to be dancers, and you have to realize that it's a lot more than what they think, and sometimes they can't really take it. Their skin's not as thick as they thought it was.
It's a revolving door.
Yep.
It is a revolving door. They come in, and we make it look easy. I tell so many waiters, so many other people, I say, we make it look easy. It's not easy. The good ones can make it look easy. I tell a lot of people, and then I'm going to go back to the original question. I tell a lot of people, I've been on stage in front of anywhere from 2,000 to 5,000 women, and it has been a rush. I can go up there in front of 2,000 women, screaming, going crazy, 4 nights in a row. On that 5th night, I can go in front of 100 women or 50 women. They don't respond as strong as the 2,000 women, and it can really make me question, like, oh man,
yeah,
do I still want to do this?
Yeah, yeah.
I just had 4 great nights.
Yep.
And this one night can make me question it. And if you are not a strong person, you'll fall under that weight. You'll crumple. Yeah. So that's the reason why a lot of guys can't take it. They come up there with this egotistical attitude, thinking, oh, yeah, I'm it. And they go up there, and for some reason, you're just not those women cup of tea that night.
Yeah.
You may do okay, but the next guy may come out and really kill and really destroy the show, and you don't understand what happened to you.
Yep.
You're like, man, why is it not my night tonight? It's just not your night.
Yep.
You clean yourself off and you go on to the next one.
You want to try to put as much science and logic into it, but sometimes you just can't. You're dealing with the female psyche, and they barely understand what's going on in their brains, let alone us trying to figure it out.
But getting back to the original question, one thing I don't like, and I'm not trying to pick on the black dancers, but they have taken dancing and they basically just walk out naked, doing these walkouts.
Yep.
And it's no entertainment. A lot of guys have lost the entertainment part because they should not be dancers.
Yeah.
And women out there, please stop telling your friend, your boyfriend, oh, just because you think he's hot, he can be a dancer. If he don't have an it factor, you have to have that it factor. If you do not have that it factor, you can't make it. If you don't walk into the room and affect the room, you don't have it.
Yep.
I mean, you can walk in anywhere, into a fast food, into a store, into a restaurant, and affect the atmosphere. People will look at you and say, who's that? Or they'll just look and they'll wonder. And you'll see them doing it. Or some people may walk up to you and just ask you, it's something about you that makes you different, that draws attention.
Yep.
And to me, that makes the greatest entertainers. And if you don't have that, you have to be a hell of a worker.
Yep. I mean, one of the things that I try to let people know, even females, that they don't understand is an above average guy is above average in 90% of the scenarios they're in. But all of a sudden, when you put them in a place where everyone is above average, now you have to work double as hard to stand out. It's just like athletes. You could be the baddest athlete in your city, state, whatever. But as soon as you go to nationals or the Olympics or something like that, you're just like everyone else. You know what I mean? You have to step it up. Just because you were an 8 at home, so you were a top dog, like that's not good enough when you're surrounded by 8s, 9s, and 10s. And it's the same thing at any, LaBare Houston, LaBare Dallas, San Antonio, hard bodies. You might be above average in your group, neighborhood, or everywhere you go out in, but now when you're surrounded with a bunch of guys that are the number one top dog, like guess what? You need to bring something more to the table. And I think that's one of the things that people don't understand and they may have not experienced before. So the flip side of that, though, is what do you like the most about dancing and entertaining?
Oh man, you mean right now or all over? I mean, in the whole.
Well, I mean, we'll probably end up having you back on the show because you just have a wealth of knowledge. So let's go with what's making you happy let's say in the last 3 years.
Last 3 years, the creativity of the newer guys that's coming in. You're one of my favorites, definitely. Even though you're not newer, but you're newer compared to me.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
I love your creativity. Like the last time we were in San Antonio, I was doing a dance, and I literally just stopped me and the girl and watched your show. The lights were perfect. The way you had the fire inside the book, and I mean, it was just really, really amazing. I mean, just the attention to detail, and it's so much more you can do because of technology, and being able to reach across the world today than it was when I first started dancing. When I first started dancing, we had cassette tapes.
Yeah.
We had to like rewind it or tell the guy, hey, look, fast forward it and start it at 1 minute and 33 seconds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
Right now,
that's a good idea for a show. I might have to bring like you and Randy and some of the people who have been around the business for a decade or so and just talk about how things have changed just technology wise. That's fantastic. That's totally right. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, technology has made it so much easier and better. And a lot of guys like you take advantage of it. And I love it. And the shows of today from the guys who really put in the work is amazing. I mean, you literally can stop and watch it, and it is a Las Vegas style show. And I know a lot of dancers have to catch themselves watching the show. You're like, hold on, wait, I don't want these girls to think I'm looking at the guy.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at my boy's show, or I'm looking at this guy put on a good show, and I've never seen it before. I'm like, man, wow, that's really freaking entertaining. Because at the end of the day, a real entertainer loves entertainment.
Yes.
Just like a real musician loves all types of music. All types. Me, I love everything from rap to classical to opera. I love all kind of music. Country, rock, punk, you name it. I love it because I love music. I love entertaining. So when we see a good show, it's going to catch our attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very true.
That's what I love about today. That's what I love about today.
I've done it myself. I've had someone come up to chip me on side stage. I'm like, hey, if it's cool, let's just take a second and watch this show, and then I'll talk to you when it's done or whatnot. If I know them, they're a friend of mine, they'll come up and they'll stand and watch the show with me. If not, like, I'll tell them, like, honey, just come back in like 3 minutes. I really want to see what this guy does. And they kind of look at me weird at first, but then they understand as soon as they see the show when it's someone like you or, or Lorenzo come on, or just people that put on a good show, man. It's just worth watching. It's entertainment. Do I need to see how the guy collects his tips? No, I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about how he strips. But the actual show, the meat and potatoes of it, like you said, if you're an entertainer, you appreciate other entertainment, period.
And then all the money that we put into our costumes and the work into rehearsal and coming up with the ideas. And, a lot of people think that it's so simple that, okay, you work out a little bit, you may dance a little bit, and then you come hit the stage. No, it's hours and days and weeks behind the scenes of trying to perfect something that you're only going to be on stage for, that literally you're only going to do about 5 minutes.
Yep. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I'm hoping my reality show ends up kind of shining a little bit of light on that subject, just for people to see all the work that we put into our shows. But we'll touch on that later. So let's shift gears a little bit and see what you do outside of the club. What got you into wrestling, Foreplay?
Okay, right before I answer that, I want to give thanks to Channing Tatum for helping us, because Magic Mike has really gave a resurgency to the entertainment industry from male exotic dancers. So I just want to thank him for that.
Hey, true story, man. Hopefully he'll check in. I'll hashtag him on the show notes and see if he picks up on it, man. True story, though. Very true story.
What got me into wrestling? Oh, wow. That's a childhood thing. My dad was 6'4", 300 pounds.
Wow.
Huge, freaking huge. he wrestled like years before I was ever born. So we grew up watching wrestling. Loved it. Loved wrestling. I'm the baby boy of 5 boys. So I came up rough. My dad was in the Marines, blah, blah, blah. All that. I came up rough. And I studied martial arts and all kind of stuff like that. I studied Muay Thai. I've studied Kempo. I've studied, just for a short while, some Shaolin techniques.
Oh wow, okay.
Because they did a tour where they toured the country, and they stopped and settled with a school in New York and one here in Houston. And I found it. I went there for a little while, and it was mind blowing. I really want to go back. They moved, but I guess they were only here for a little while, and I really want to go back and study. Like right now, I'm studying jiu-jitsu. I just started doing jiu-jitsu. So I've always loved physical combat. I always loved the art of fighting, self-defense. It's beautiful to me. I love it spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, everything about it. And one day, I was, I guess I was sitting back and I was looking at dancing, and I was like, okay, I never really wanted to be a dancer. I kind of got into it reluctantly because, like I said, the music.
Mm-hmm.
And so with me, every year I was going to quit. This was going to be my last year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was going to move into something else, but you know, it gets its hooks into you, and like Charlie Murphy said, cocaine is a hell of a drug. So dancing is a hell of a drug. And I don't smoke, I don't drink, I've never done anything. So entertainment, dancing, that was my high. That's what got me high. That's what my addiction was. And I mean, still is. But one day I was sitting back and I was like, I can't dance forever.
Yeah.
I can't. And what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I don't want to get too spiritual on here, but I prayed for 2 years straight. And one day I just sit up in the bed and say, I want to be a wrestler. Literally, I would sleep, and like 7 in the morning, I just sit straight up and say, I want to be a wrestler. And I would lay back down like, nah, I can't do that. I'm too short, I'm too small, and I'm the wrong color for wrestling. It's not a black man's sport. So I gave every excuse in the world. Everything. I was like, oh, you gotta know somebody in wrestling. You gotta do this, blah, blah, blah. I say in a circle. Well, I told my mom and all them that. We kind of laughed about it. And my dad. And about a week later, we're watching SmackDown. And everything I said, with the exception of the black thing, they came in and they answered. They said, have you ever thought about being a wrestler? You ever wanted to? You thought maybe you were too small. You thought maybe this was an inner circle type thing. You couldn't, you had to know somebody. You had to be kin to somebody, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
This is your opportunity to become a wrestler, to live your dream. And we all kind of looked at each other in awe because that was our family time. Monday night Raw, Thursday night SmackDown, we would watch it. That was our thing.
Yeah.
And y'all just kind of stopped and looked at each other. And it was like, wow. I'm like, okay, is this a sign from God? Let me see, whatever. So I looked, I tried to do the little thing, and it didn't work out right. I'm like, okay, well, it was too late. This wasn't me. It was just coincidence. So I'm driving down the street one day, and I see a sign that says wrestling training. And that's where it started.
Wow, that's crazy. The universe pretty much, you asked the universe and it gave you an answer. That's awesome.
Exactly.
I mean, even reluctantly, you tried to like not see it, and it was still like, no, this is the path.
This is the path. And the funny thing about it is, when I first got in it, I excelled at it so quickly, it was crazy. And then I hit a brick wall. I mean, it's been really hard. and it's just the brick wall. I'm just starting to chip away at it right now.
It happens, man. Anything that you have to strive for, there's always going to be that plateau that isn't the summit, but you hang there for a while and you got to kind of make another internal check to see if this is where you want to stay or if you want to continue to excel. And the fact that you're already starting to make progress on it says a lot. You know what I mean? So,
I mean, it hurt. It hurt. I was there. I was touring with the WWE like a lot. I wrestled John Cena, Batista, CM Punk. I wrestled with so many of these guys. I mean, Kurt Angle, Rey Mysterio. I mean, everybody.
Yeah, wow. Those are all names I know, and I don't even follow wrestling that well.
Yeah, like every day it was like, okay, you're about to get your contract. Every day you're about to get your contract. You're about to get it. And it just haven't happened yet. It's, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I can believe it could be frustrating, man. So then, what so far? I mean, obviously your career is far from over. What are like one or two of your your greatest achievements so far in the wrestling world?
Being on Monday Night Raw.
You were on Monday Night Raw?
Yeah, being on Monday Night Raw. We were in this thing. It was me, a few other guys, John Cena, JBL, CM Punk, and what's the name of the Crime Time. We were in this big thing, and it was like a big mosh and feud. I would say that was probably my highlight.
Man, that's awesome. Like, I mean, I've looked up to you for so many different reasons, and the fact that you're doing so well on not one avenue but two is just phenomenal. I think that's fantastic. And like, did you ever have like, so in general, I'm going to ask you if wrestling overlaps at all with stripping as far as creativity and showmanship and the scheduling and stuff like that and the application of the same skill sets. But have you ever had a similar experience fan-wise between the two? Like where you just see someone that just, they worship the ground you walk on type thing.
Yes. It's weird. Like, I've always been used to women, but to have men do it kind of freaked me out. I'm not going to lie. Like, one day I was in Walmart, and this guy, like, came up, and he was like, whoa, Abel Andrew Jackson. Oh, wow, man. I freaking love you, man. Can I take a picture with you? Blah, 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 blah. And when I actually, like, calmed down, like, I mean, naturally I didn't let him see anything, but, like, inside I'm like, hold up, bro, bag up, you know?
Yeah.
But when I calmed down, I took it as a huge compliment, and I take everything as a compliment, and I'm really appreciative of anybody who think that I'm worthy of their praise. I mean, it's a huge honor to me.
The way I see it is that praise is earned, not given. So when someone does feel that I have, qualified or earned that, it's a huge compliment, and it's just great. Like, I mean, it really is awesome that you could see that. So what other overlaps have you seen between your two professions?
Honestly, wrestlers are just strippers who fight.
Okay.
Literally, the crossover was seamless. The attitudes are exactly the same. They both work out. They both are showmen.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be an entertainer in both fields. It's just one dance, one fight. That's it.
True story.
But the mindsets, the locker room, everything exactly the same.
So, like, much how I appreciate and respect and think it's awesome that you're a professional wrestler, coming from the stripper standpoint, do you see any kind of, like, do people crack jokes at you for being a stripper? Do they even know you're a stripper? Or are they like, man, that's so cool, I couldn't do that job type thing?
Funny thing about it, there was another guy who was a dancer actually out there. I'm not going to mention his name.
No worries.
He's worked at Dallas LaBare, all that, and he's a wrestler now and everything. The guy had all the potential in the world. I mean, they loved him, and he would have got his contract really, really quick. But now I'm not saying this. I'm just going by what they told me. WWE, all the wrestlers, all the top guys, they knew both of us because they were looking at both of us. They were flying us everywhere, and we even worked together a couple times. They looked at me and him completely different because even though I was at the top of my game in dancing at that point in time, he was at the top of his game as well. Guy made crazy money, looked good, great shape. I never talked about dancing, never brought it in. I walked in very humble, did what I was told, and I have no problem with following orders. I believe in being the first guy there, the last guy to leave. Be the hardest working man in the room, and you'll get your rewards. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually it has to come. You beat on that door, you beat on that wall long enough, and it will give. That's my belief. That's my mantra.
Yes, sir.
And the other guy, which is my buddy, I love him to death, but he was cocky. You know those entertainers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he flaunted his money. He flaunted, he knew all these women, and women loved him and all that, and they didn't like him. Why? Because they were very egotistical as well. Like I say, it's the same locker room.
Yep.
So this guy's like, we're millionaires. We're on TV. We're this, we're that. You're not like us. You can't be better than us. You're not better than us, blah, blah, blah. And then the women, when they found out we were dancers, yeah, they gave us a little bit more attention. Like the divas at that point in time gave us a lot of attention. So it created some issues. But because I was more humble about the situation, they never bothered me. Still today, they don't. They respect me. They even put me to the side and said, the reason why we don't give you hell and we give him hell is because you come in here, you do what you're told to do, you're quiet, you're respectful, and we like that. You're not coming in here saying, oh, I make all this money, I do this, I do that, I can have any woman, blah, blah, blah. So we respect that. You're just trying to earn your place. He feels that he's entitled. And that was the issue where with us. And so, no, I never got it. Thank
Gotcha.
God.
Awesome. All right. Well, sadly enough, I think we're going to have to bring you on the show again because there's just so many questions I have for you. But we're getting close on time. Let's move into our best and worst event of the week. This is where, we kind of like to let people know how the world treats us as entertainers. So, for me, my best or worst event of the week, I had a drunken female on stage. It was her birthday, 21st, so she wasn't going to remember the night. She did great on stage, no issues. Well, then she comes back to tip me on stage. After she gets off, I said, sure. I come up to her. She's groping all over me, a little heavy-handed. Her being drunk. No money. I'm just like, okay. I don't understand why you would come up to main stage with no money, but I'm like, fine, cool. Give her dance. I move on. I go to the next girl. Apparently, she thought she didn't get enough attention, so she goes and starts trying to yank on my underwear, trying to pull my underwear down. So politely, obviously, I can't show off any anger or anything like that, so I just keep smiling at the girl I'm dancing on and bat her hand away about 4 times. Later on, I walk across her again. She tries to grab my junk, swat her hand away. Then, as I'm moving her hand away, she grabs my hand and starts sucking on my finger. I'm like, what are you doing?
Whoa.
Yes. And then finally, everyone else on my stage leaves. Her and her friends are the last ones there. I'm like, oh, all right, fine. I'll go down to her again just to make her happy. It's her birthday. Leave a good impression. I get down. I take a knee. And as soon as I take a knee, she's like, you better bow down. I was like, oh, no. So I just simply got back up, walked to the back of the stage. Our DJ Caden took the signal and called me off stage. But I was just like, woo-saw. I'm like,
yeah.
I'll probably end up putting a more vulgar version of that explanation on for the patrons, but that'll be my PG version of it. Because needless to say, I was a little heated after that. How about you?
Oh my gosh, my worst of this week. I really didn't have too bad of this week, but I would say my worst of this week was I was dancing for a young lady. and you know how we simulate going down on a woman,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And I simulated like I was going down, and I never get too close ever because I never want to,
Of course.
one, violate the law,
Yeah, of course.
two, violate them, and it's a fantasy. So
Their mind will get them
down,
there. You plant the seed, their mind will take it the rest of the way.
Exactly. I went down and I got kicked in the face with a lot of funk.
Oh.
It
Oh.
was terrible. It was like I was in a kung fu movie. Yeah, I got hit so hard, I got dizzy.
Man, I've been there. I've been there, and the thing is that you gotta remember you're on stage, and they're on stage with you, and you just have to push through it, and don't let anyone else know. So, kind of get your bearings, hold your breath, and go about your business.
Pretty much.
Oh man.
And hope that it don't get on you.
Yeah, true story. You go back and hand sanitizer and all that stuff and whatnot. Spray your cologne. What was your what was your best event of the week?
Best event of the week, I did a private party. Well, I actually did two private parties. One was I did a private party for these women. The girl who actually saw me years ago when I first started, and I hadn't seen her in like 15 years.
Oh, wow.
And they tipped me really, really good. They were exciting, and they played all these games that I never wait around to see.
Yep.
And it was just fun. It was crazy. They made penises with Play-Doh, and they were like, they were really hot. It was fun.
Yeah, it was one of those events where you were part of the party, not just a guest, you know?
Exactly. It was so fun. And then literally, I have to add this one too. So it was basically I did private parties and they were fun. The next private party I did, it was a lingerie party. So all the women were in lingerie.
Okay then.
And
that's a perk.
It was crazy.
Yeah,
I didn't do anything. Let's clarify that.
Yeah, no.
But they were all in lingerie, see through. And they had the best food. It was crazy.
Professional through and through. But, of course, I can imagine you walking through the door and being like, am I at the right house? Like, did you guys order a male stripper or female strippers?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Right on, man. Can't say I have a story like that yet, but I'm only 5 years in, so we'll see. I got a lot to go. Well, Foreplay, really appreciate you taking the time to be on the show, man. It means a lot. I definitely think we'll have you back on the show. You just have so much wisdom to give, and you're a pleasure to talk to. Where can people reach you at via social media?
You can go to my Facebook, which is Nico, Neico, Play, Play. Nico is my real name. So Nico Play at Facebook.com. Or you can go to my Instagram, which is Foreplay, the number 4, Play, _ Houston. So it's Foreplay _ Houston for my Instagram.
Right on. And, of course, I'm Caesar the Crowd Pleaser. You can catch me on Facebook at Caesar Goyaso or Caesar LaBare. On Instagram and Twitter, I am Caesar LaBare 7. And on iTunes and SoundCloud, it is Caesar the Crowd Pleaser. And on Patreon is patreon.com/crowdpleaser. Definitely hit up Foreplay. Let them know what you think of him on the show and whatnot. Definitely see the show if you're in the Houston area, or if you catch him out inside the ring. Catch him doing some top rope DDTs and whatnot. Last thing, be on the lookout for my reality show that's coming out this month, July 23rd. We're going to have the premiere. And look and see, it's kind of Magic Mike meets So You Think You Can Dance and American Idol. So definitely check it out as guys work on new shows every episode and to find out who's the best and last entertainer standing. All right, thanks everyone for being Foreplay. Thanks for being on the show. Everyone, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.